Hey everybody, I know there's tons of videos going around about the Tesla right now, and even for quite a while there's been a lot of videos that's been posted, but I really just want to tell my story about getting a Tesla and how crazy it's been. There's been a lot of ups, a lot of downs, a lot of realizations with getting a Tesla. Like for example, I still do not have a charger at my house. I did have an electrician come. I've called a lot of electricians, but they have told me that it'd be around 1,400 to get a charger, and that's on the low end. The high end, someone even told me it'll be probably in the 2000s, and that's because of how far my breaker panel is from my garage. But you know, it's getting to the point where I still might have to do it because it's been a huge inconvenience charging, but we'll get to that later. I want to start off from the very beginning, getting the Tesla, ordering it online. A little bit of background is I've always wanted a Tesla like a lot of you. I want definitely for the full self-driving functionality, which has not been perfected yet, and I personally feel like it's far from it, despite what Elon Musk is promising. I've always wanted a Tesla. It's a pretty cool car. It's futuristic. I love technology. And I felt like right now was a good time to get it. They were slowly bringing up the price on the full self-driving when you're adding that feature on when purchasing the vehicle. I started off at 5,000. When I got it, it was 6,000. Now I believe it's 7,000. These last few over-the-air updates, they kind of like pushed me to actually get it. But anyway, I ordered it. Very expensive car. It starts off at $35,000, but once you even add, again, full self-driving, that's $6,000. If you want to add paint, different paint colors, that can range from like, I think it was $850 to a little bit over $1,000 just to change the paint. And also the interior was a different color. I always wanted a white interior. I went with the white interior. Again, that may have been another mistake, but we'll get into that later. But anyway, I went through the ordering process. It showed that it was going to take about 6 to 8 weeks, even though I checked like a week earlier, and it showed that it was only going to take 2 weeks. I waited, got a notification like in a week saying that it was going to be here like the next week. So all in all, it took 2 weeks. Which I was happy because as soon as I purchased the Tesla, I went ahead and submitted a loan application with both Tesla and my personal financial institution. But my financial institution, of course, beat Tesla. I went with them and they were saying that the offer expires in 30 days and 6 to 8 weeks. So I was like, oh man, I might have to submit another application and rates could go up. But long story short, Tesla ended up delivering the car a lot sooner. So I was able to go in there, even though I didn't get enough time to do a lot of the things that I was gonna start scheduling. For example, the electrician and also paint protection film. These are just things that a lot of other Tesla owners have recommended. And I was just like, you know what, I want this car, I'm excited, I'm happy that it came early. I go there to pick up the car, and like a lot of other YouTubers advise, they say check the car, look around the car. Of course, they said a lot of the issues with the Teslas have slowed down since they were able to ramp up on how the production process is. But I still looked around the whole vehicle. I saw a few things wrong, not big things. There was a lot of grease marks all over the car, or that's what the Tesla personnel was telling me. It was grease marks. They cleaned those off. I noticed 2 like bumps in the paint, and I didn't really like that too much. I was just like, what is this? It wasn't even that bad, but it was just 2 bumps in the paint. So I just pointed that out. I just wanted them to take note of it. And also there was a piece on the door that was broken, or that wasn't in well, according to them. They just popped that right back. But now I'm hearing kind of noises in that area. But yeah, so I pointed out the paint issues, and they said they had paint specialists on site, which they were hired specifically to take care of those or correct those paint issues. And it looked like it was going to be a pretty hard correction to me, even though it's just really small, 2 small like lumps in the paint. It looked like it was going to be pretty tough, but they said no, that's what they're there for. They said it'll take about 30 minutes. So I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. So the experience was, pretty decent. So they came to correct the paint on the car. They actually took my car over to a bay, and they just had small little tools. It was a lady, and she was doing her thing, and I was standing there, but I didn't want her to think that I was rushing her so she wouldn't make any mistakes or anything. So I walked away looking at all the other Teslas. So they brought the car back and they said, hey, here's this paper. It's good for 60 days. We weren't able to correct the paint. They showed me how it was just, 2 kind of like holes. So you kind of see behind the paint now, which I personally think is worse. They said there was a bug in one of the lumps and then like dirt in the other lump. And so they said I would have to bring it back so they could respray the whole panel. That kind of sucked. I wasn't too happy with that. I took the car home. I was happy, I was testing out auto steer and autopilot. Auto steer was not acting right. Of course, you have to wait the calibration period, but I feel like it learns even more after that. Because even after it was calibrated and ready to go, after driving a few miles, I started it and it was just stopping every once in a while. But then, like after a few days, it was a lot more reliable. You could start it without it yelling at you. When it comes to waiting for the update, because I was on version 9 when I got it, I was so surprised because it was a 2020. It was a few weeks after the version 10 was released, so I thought it would ship with that, but it didn't. And waiting for version 10 was kind of excruciating. I wanted Netflix, I wanted YouTube, karaoke, just a lot of the feature set, just the enhanced autopilot updates that it bought, being able to move over when the truck is coming, those little things. And I was waiting and waiting. I connected it to Wi-Fi. I moved it in the garage, made sure it had 2 bars. None of that helped. Like pushing the advanced button, none of that was helping to get my update. So someone online said, schedule service for a software update. And so I scheduled service for like 2 days ahead. I knew I wasn't going to be going anywhere. I was in my office. My car was charging. And there's no Wi-Fi there, but when I got to my car, it said that a software update had started and that it needed to be connected to my Wi-Fi to finish. I took it home, it downloaded the update, and I was good to go. But that kind of sucks that, the updates aren't really pushed out efficiently or effectively, I'd say. The rollout isn't the best. I don't know if they're doing like piloted groups when they do rollouts, but yeah, I really wanted that update, but it took a while to get it. But let's talk about the experience having this Tesla. I bought these white seats. They said it was durable, and I believe them. And for the most part, it is. Mostly you can clean up dirt, but dye transfer from clothing has been impossible to get out. I looked online, and everybody's having issues getting this out. I don't want to do anything too crazy to the seats to try to take it out, but so far I've tried soap and water. I've tried leather cleaner. I haven't tried a magic eraser. I don't know what I'm gonna try to do to get this stain out, but it definitely isn't nice. And then, so now I'm paranoid. When people are in my car, I kind of have to look at that. I don't feel free in the Tesla with the white seats, so I definitely can't say I recommend them. If I were to go back, I would get the black seats, hands down. The white seats do look nice. They're beautiful. Again, they're easy to maintain when it comes to dirt, when it comes to, like, let's say you spill some type of sauce. I've seen people test that out on YouTube and they're able to clean it out. But dye transfer, no, I haven't had any luck getting it out. I don't know what I'm gonna need to do. I might even have to have it serviced, and hopefully it's under warranty, even though I do know it's my fault. I know what pants it came to. So now I'm gonna say, hey, no more cheap pants in the Tesla. When it comes to the actual dash and console area, a lot of people say, oh, they recommend you getting that wrapped, but that piano black, I'm not gonna lie to you, is beautiful. I ordered a wrap even before my Tesla came in because I was like, look, I hate fingerprints, I hate the dust, but when you see that, it's just so clean. It's an elegant look, and you don't touch that area too much. And if you just like if you know there's a specific place where you can put your finger just at the tip to limit the amount of places where your fingerprint would be, it's definitely something you would have to think about. A lot of people just want to be able to do things, but it's such a good look, and I think that it's worth it to not put a skin on it. So I still have this skin. I might just I can't return it anymore. I've had it for so long. But yeah, I really enjoy it. I haven't really had a fingerprint issue. I haven't really had, of course, dust, but it's just a quick wipe. If I start seeing scratching, that's something that's probably going to make me put that wrap on. But there's actually no way it can get scratched anymore. I'll jump into that now. I did get paint protection film. I did not get it the first week. I did not get it the second week. I actually just got it last Saturday, and I was gonna get the whole car paint protected with PPF, but that was too expensive. And a lot of people were saying, hey, rock chip, go to the front of the car, like the hood area, the A-pillar, front bumper, and the side mirrors. And I was just like, yeah, it might not be a good idea to get it on the whole car. So I just got it on the front and the lower. I got it at AP3, which came from Like Tesla. That channel, they produce very good videos, very entertaining. I actually don't usually like watching vlogs and all that, but her and her husband put out great videos. They recommended AP3 in one of their videos, and because I went and mentioned their name, they also gave me a console wrap. And then theirs isn't really a wrap. I feel like they use the same PPF material to do it, and I was so happy to hear that. They said, yeah, you're gonna maintain that same gloss, but now you don't have to worry about scratches. May still have to worry about fingerprints. I haven't seen any yet. I'll definitely put like a picture or a little clip so you guys could see what that looks like. But yeah, so now I can still enjoy the gloss, and it's kind of like having a screen protector, but not on a screen, just a protector to maintain that gloss, the glossy look without having to put like some type of sticker on there. Because I see all the other YouTubers, they put these wraps, but you can kind of still see edges, and it just doesn't look as elegant to me. They look okay, but those wraps, I don't feel like they're the way to go. I have not gotten a screen protector for the screen. Right now, I do not think it's necessary. Of course, there are people who will go in your car, they won't respect it, especially if you hang around the younger crowd a lot. They'll just go in there and start touching things, and you know they might not have as much care as you have when making contact with those things in your car. Like I had one of my friends, they went in there and they just started going crazy, and you know it did make me kind of angry, but I had to remember it's just a car. But what is always on my mind is that this is an expensive car that I'm making these expensive payments to, and I really just I'm paranoid a lot of times. Like my sister, she goes to school in Atlanta, and parking in the city. One time I forgot my flash drive, so I didn't have Sentry mode on, and I was just feeling paranoid. Like, oh man, what if this person does that? What if this person does this? What if they accidentally do that? Now, Sentry mode is a must-have. I used to try to take the flash drive out every time after I came home to see what are the events that happened. But now I take a little spin around the car. If everything looks good, I don't monitor my Sentry mode clips. Only when I notice something off, that's when I say, okay, let me see what happened. Sentry mode is really cool, especially in version 10 now that they added the backup camera into the loop of all the footage you can review. It's just something that's so nice, because I never wanted to get a dash cam in any of my previous cars because I don't like the little wire that sticks out. I don't like just having that extra thing. Now, Tesla has it there. I don't even know where the cameras are. Well, of course I know where the cameras are, but I'm not like looking at any of the cameras. So Sentry mode is awesome. The dash cam is awesome. It may not be the best quality video or the best quality footage, but it just feels comforting knowing that you're having everything recorded. So if anything happens, like, you know, God forbid, but let's say an accident happens, there's no he say, she say. You could just point at the footage. And hopefully it's not your fault if you do get into an accident. Hopefully it's not your fault, and you can prove that it's not your fault with the footage, because sometimes there's that gray area. So it just feels comforting having those cameras there. Let's go into the full self-driving, because that is the biggest reason I bought the car. If I wanted an electric car, you know, there's lots of ways I could have gone, but I'm a technology guy. I love technology. Full self-driving, what is being promised is awesome. We're going to be able to simply set our destination, and our car will essentially drive us there with no human interaction. As I've owned this car, I have realized how challenging that actually is going to be, especially at the level we're at. Elon is saying that it's going to be done next year. You know, we're going to have some fully self-driving cars next year. I don't believe it. There's just too many scenarios. Like the other day, I was going down the 2-lane road, and there was this truck that was stopped in the middle of the road because they were doing some type of maintenance on the sidewalk or something. And so cars had to go around. And I had auto steer on and autopilot on. I said, let me see what autopilot is going to do. Even, of course, it's obvious. It's just going to go behind the car and stay there because it thinks that the car is stopped, like traffic. So it's going to have to know that, hey, this car's not stopped. It's stationary. We're going to have to go into the oncoming traffic lane and then merge back into our lane. That is just too much stuff. And that's just one of the things, it's just going to be crazy. I don't know. I know they have some great engineers at Tesla, but that right there is just something I couldn't even fathom. What type of algorithm? Good luck to you guys. Again, I paid for it. All I know is you guys but do what you got to do to get my full self-driving going. If it's not done next year, I'm not going to be too angry if it's not done next year. But by 2021, I want to have full self-driving. Or at least I want to see... No, actually, what I want now, or as soon as possible, is red light detection and stop sign detection. You know, just to have that extra safety in there. That would be pretty cool. I feel like that's a pretty good goal to reach by the end of the year. It's possible, but Elon, you guys know what you have going on. I know I saw the video of a full self-driving car going, like them demoing it, but I mean, I'm pretty sure that it was easy to get those streets and the route that they used. It's easy to compute that, especially if it's something that they programmed into it just as a proof of concept. But in regards to actually getting full self-driving going, especially with this taxi thing, they said they're gonna have what Tesla taxi going on, where our cars will leave at night or while we're at work and go make us money. I see that camera in the car, but again, I don't trust people enough. If full self-driving is working as well as Elon is promising, I'm gonna let it go. I'm gonna let people do whatever they want, but they're gonna have to have some type of policy where if they do any damage to the car, they're gonna be fully responsible. I'm sure they're gonna find a way to, work all that out. As hard as it is to make passive income, if buying this Tesla can somehow be profitable, which is what my dad was so angry, but he always says getting new cars is one of the worst places you can put your money, which I kind of agree. But again, this is something I really wanted. A lot of people advised against getting a Tesla. It just felt like the right time. It was within my means. All the previous cars that I've ran through, Camaro, 2017 Camaro, 2018 Honda Accord, 2019 Honda Ridgeline, I was never content with those cars, knowing that the Tesla was out there. So I feel like now I'm content. This is a car I can keep for a very long time, even though I do fear battery degradation. That's one of the biggest things why I wouldn't recommend getting the Tesla now, especially with my crazy charging situation. And let me go ahead and jump in to how I've been charging my vehicle. Even before I got my vehicle, I was looking at different ways I can charge it. Before I got this Tesla, I was at my previous job, and they offered chargers, level 2 of course, and it was free. And I wanted to see how many people used it, how often it was used, how often I would be able to charge my car. And it seemed like if I needed to, I would be able to charge every day. So going into my new job, before I left, I made sure that whatever employer that I was looking at was going to have chargers. So I went to this new location. They had 6 charger stalls, but one of them wasn't working, and it was hard to gauge how used it was because it was in, the city. I've been there for about 3 weeks, and I've been able to charge anytime I wanted to. It doesn't feel good to have to rely on my work chargers. I end up going to the mall on weekends. And I've never, ever charged my car at home yet. I have not used that 110 outlet to charge the car. I know that's going to be way too slow, and it just isn't efficient. So I'd rather just go to the mall. Luckily, I've been having things I've had to do at the mall, so it hasn't been too terrible. And I've had really good friends who would even go out there with me waiting for the car to charge. There has been one time I had to just sit in my car on my laptop, people just, watching at me, looking at me. And even this one lady, she said, that is the reason why I will not get a Tesla. I want one so bad, but that is the reason why I won't get one. Yeah, getting the Tesla, would I say, is it worth it to get it now? I would say don't fear the price of full self-driving going up as much as I did, which is one of the things that pushed me to get the car early. I'd say wait until next year. That new battery technology that they're promising, where they're saying it can go 1,000,000 miles, before you start seeing any issues with the battery. I say wait on that new technology. Tesla's doing a lot of stuff where they're trying to save money. Like, for example, the frunk doesn't come with the clips anymore. And I reached out to them. I said, hey, you guys forgot to give me my clips. And they were like, hey, no, the clips don't come with the car anymore. They stopped doing that for the 2020 model. Having a Tesla overall is pretty cool. Full self-driving is, we're still waiting on that. Autopilot is okay. Navigating on autopilot is cool. When you are merging on to some highways, it's a little slow on ramps and off ramps. But, it's pretty cool the way it's working. It is nice. Sometimes some tunnels, it tells me, hey, this is not a familiar tunnel, so we're turning off. Navigate on autopilot, and then it'll resume after the tunnel. But that's pretty cool that I can see a tunnel. I don't know how navigate on autopilot, but it definitely looks like it's using more than just the cameras and the radar. A lot of 2-lane roads and 1-lane roads that I've been on, autopilot can only go 5 miles per hour above the speed limit. And that just doesn't go with the flow of traffic. In a lot of cases here in Atlanta, that does not go with the flow, and people will just get enraged with you. So when you see a lot of those videos where people just mad at Tesla owners and they do stupid stuff on the road, that's because autopilot just drives autopilot drives a little bit annoying. All in all, when it comes to driver assistance, it is probably the best. I haven't driven every car, of course, but in regards to the cars I've owned, and the most high tech one was probably the Honda Accord Touring Hybrid. That I would say it destroys that. Lane keep assist was terrible in that Honda. It wasn't reliable at all, even for what it was as driver assistance. It wasn't terrible. Of course, it's better to have it than to not have it. My journey to getting the Tesla, long story short, was selling my old car. I had negative equity. I had to pay the negative equity. I had to then put down the minimum payment for the Tesla, which I believe they bought it down to $100 for the Model 3. But then there's a minimum payment due before delivery, which came out to like $4,000 or $5,000, $4,000 something dollars. I got mine with the long range. I need long range. I drive so much. I drive like 24,000 miles a year, maybe even more. That's because I'm so far from everything. But yeah, so I got the long range, white interior, full self-driving. But thanks again for watching, and have a great day.